Recording. I use WAV instead of MP3. And I'm gonna let you know why. The reason being is because you don't want your vocals to sound sidetracked. That's one of the reasons why my first album sounds the way it does, which is a trip. Make sure you find your program that you would like to use. I'm using Edit Pro 2.0. I usually set my vocals on tracks 2 and 3, but I make sure my instrumental is on the first track and I turn it all the way down. The reason why I turn my instrumental all the way down is because I want the background vocals to be as minimal, and I want, any bleeding to be free from the headphones, so your vocals won't be so much of a background noise and just all vocals. After the artist is able to hear more of themselves instead of the instrumental in the headphones, what I usually do, let me see what I do. I make sure the artist is able to hear themselves, and I find a way to record with this program, because it will make a lot of sense to record with this program since I'm using it. The zoom in and zoom out options are the best to find out and use when you're using any software or recording program or tool. Make sure you use the second and third channels when you're mixing like I do, or when you're following this tutorial. Make sure you use the first track for instrumentals, the second and third tracks for vocals, for punching in and punching out, depending on what you want to keep and what not to keep. Alright, with everything going the way it's going, make sure you know that you're recording at the right times, because sometimes you can accidentally record over your vocals, the ones that you want to keep. And know your buttons, because it can get kind of tricky. Make sure that you know your cue points. Like what I do, I start from the beginning of the vocals and I cut from the snare, or sometimes, depending on the actual instrumental, I set the first cue point or the first cursor, which is highlighted, the first cursor at the kick drum instead of the snare sometimes. And that's how I mix the vocals. But when I'm mixing all of the vocals down, I make sure that I cut the instrumental off and mute it, so that I can just keep the vocals. Alright. The reason why I use Edit Pro 2.0 instead of Cubase is because it's a lot easier to use. There's too much going on with Cubase. I can still use it though. I know how to use it. So big ups to me. Alright, the reason why I use Fruity Loops is because it's a scratch pad, nothing more, nothing less. The reason why some argue about Fruity Loops or whatever else is because they paid $600 for Cubase, or $600 for a propeller head program or some shit. So that's the reason why I use Fruity Loops. Alright. After I mix my vocals down and save them in my folder, I go back and sample my vocals. I'll be honest with you. And I know how to mix them out, so I know what clarity sounds like, and I know how to make everything crystal clear in Fruity Loops. The next tutorial will be me mixing in Fruity Loops. Thanks for watching. I hope I helped you, G7, because I'm talking back at myself in this video. It's just a reference. Hey, who can you blame? These are recording tips. And until next time, have fun. Peace.